Happy Friday. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. What's up? Twitch requires additional permissions to send messages. Listen, I like doing this because I feel like a lot of people don't get to be able to see like the behind the scenes here, but it shows over in the side corner that I can't see the Twitch chat, but I can see the multi-stream. And I don't know why it never works on abstract either, but it's absolutely unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. All right, getting into the news of the day. It's felt like kind of a quiet Friday, to be totally frank with you, but we did get news that Cool Cats is doing a partnership with LAT, one of Asia's largest conglomerates. Now, the only problem that I kind of argue with this, and I don't even know if it's like a problem, but we had Pudgy Penguins that did a collaboration with LAT before, and then we saw, as a separate example, G-Shock working with Doodles and then working with Alluvium. So is it weird when you're in Web3 and you see these different kind of conglomerates working together? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Does it show that certain brands are also open to the Web3 side of things with the IP, the global brands, and everything else in between? We'll see. Together, we'll bring the magic of Sapphire Town to new audiences across Asia and beyond. More details are coming soon. And I know for Cool Cats, they've gotten into doing the manga books, but I haven't really seen a whole lot on the timeline regarding Sapphire Town or Cool Cats, but I do know that Klon, the artist, is back streaming, so that means things are happening. Really big news, really big news coming in late last night. Big banks explore joint stablecoin venture. JP Morgan, BOFA, Citi, Wells Fargo are amongst this group. And the question with this, right, is do we kind of have this where it was the same thing with like the BRICS? If I'm saying this correctly, remember how there was all the people that want, like the countries that are wanting to come together to create like their own currency, their own plan. Now we're having banks doing that, and just the thought and question around money as a whole is really changing in a rapid pace and kind of crazy to see just in general. Now I saw this post and it was regarding the Solana mobile phone, the Seeker. I mentioned yesterday that the redemption for that wasn't working. Do know that they have a thing for taxes, so it was like $450 to buy before, but then depending on what country you're in, you're getting charged taxes. So I had to pay like $50 US or something today to even get it. But then I saw this, which doesn't give me a whole lot of excitement around it. But buyers beware, these guys don't provide any hardware warranty support. OG Solana Segas, which was like the original phone, can't make calls in certain regions, which is kind of weird. And there's no operating system update to fix since 2024. So I don't know. Is this something where the Solana phone, they did the airdrops, they say, hey, you know what? We got that out there. We don't really care about developing it more. And we're just going into like the new hardware and whatever this new token is. And hopefully we, pay people in that token. They'll be happy with it. Kind of crazy to think about, but that's probably what's going to happen. Robbie Ferguson from over in Immutable. Fortnite has 220 million monthly active users. Crypto has roughly 50 million, which is insane to think that there's potentially that many people, or is. It is abundantly clear games are the Trojan horse for onboarding consumers to new technology. Gaming will onboard hundreds of millions of users to crypto over the next 3 years. Now, while I agree with this, we do also have to look, and where I really got into the space was from NBA Top Shot, and that was just from simply finding something that was officially licensed from something that I was into, and it wasn't super costly, and then everybody wanted to be a part of it, and it was cool. And so, sure, the price action for Top Shot was crazy, but there was a massive community that formed around it, so I think there will be more than just games, but I like the reference within this and generally agree with the sentiment. Over on the side of Doodles, officially launching on Solana this summer. DreamNet, a new protocol for community-driven story worlds with AI agents. So this part I'm like a little bit confused about because we've continually seen teams drop a token and then there's like nothing to do with it until a little bit later. And I don't know why that is, but obviously things are coming. So what do they have to say? Millions of fans create in their favorite story worlds every month. User-generated character AI chat sites now garner more hours per user than applications like Roblox and TikTok, surpassing billions of hours per month. But in the end, fan creators and IPs see no benefit. DreamNet will allow fan creators to make lasting impact on their favorite worlds and be rewarded for their contributions. Simultaneously, IPs benefit from a system that gamifies co-creation and leverages information market to turn chaotic UGC into useful data. So obviously we're not being able to see like this live in action, but I mean, take for example, I don't know, like Lord of the Rings. And there's people out there that I see like on TikTok as an example that play like a flute, violin, whatever, and their entire account is essentially doing renditions of Lord of the Rings songs. And it's really cool. Everybody that's a fan of it would be like, all right, this is adding to it, but is this, I mean, it's obviously, I mean, it's not a violation within like Lord of the Rings copyright if they're doing it themselves, but if they're using their song, like, is this how things are going to connect, even though that's not necessarily a look on AI? I really want to see DreamNet in action so I kind of understand fully what it's all about. But blockchain uniquely solves the structural and economic problems by creating seamless value exchange between users, agents, creators, and IP, while tracking ownership and protecting creative freedom throughout the process. More to it, but again, let's see what Doodles has in store. Luke Nets from Pudgy Penguins saying, our biggest moment yet coming in 2025. Curious if that's in reference to Abstract just having this token generating event and being a very, very big ordeal. Again, thinking back to when Bored Ape Yacht Club 8 coin drop, that was absolutely crazy and everybody was talking about it. So is this based off a token? Is this based off of IP? Is this based off of something more? The Van Eck account with a great tweet. The crypto industry's main product might actually be conferences. Keck W and true. A lot of things were said by Crypto Garga in yesterday's Other Side Q&A. So again, Garga, the CEO of Yuga Labs and Bored Ape Yacht Club, talking about Other Side. Do you think players on Other Side have to be earning rewards similar to Sandbox to keep their interest? He responded and said, yeah, I think rewards need to be a big part of any crypto game. The summer release is more like an alpha, so there wouldn't be any immediate hard currency, but there is an XP system for people to start progression that can get factored in later. How do we review this? I think rewards need to be a big part of any crypto game. See, it depends on like what the rewards are. I think for the degen crowd and what's like in the space right now, sure. But if you make a good game and you simply allow people to own it, trade it, whatever, even without the mass speculation, it's still a better experience. But I think we're still stuck in that mindset of needing to flip, of looking at where airdrops are, all that other kind of shenanigans. You know what I mean? The next question, are we still on track for persistent state in June? Again, that's the Other Side metaverse experience. The answer, team is crunching insanely hard, bug smashing, etc. in full swing. Super, super proud of the amount of work done in the past year since I took over. And we're doing company-wide playtests of stuff like Bathroom Blitz, etc. And Bathroom Blitz, it looks like you're kind of like George Shrinks, your small character, going in like this full war that's it's in a bathroom. So I don't want to go through all of that, but it does look like things are progressing and cool to see. This is absolutely absurd. So yesterday, there was the big hack on Cetus Protocol, which is one of the liquidity providers, from my understanding, around the Hyperliquid ecosystem. Massive, massive exploit. And they reached out trying to recoup some of that funds from the hacker. Inca Digital and Cetus are aware you exploited a vulnerability in Cetus's pricing mechanism earlier today. Working together, we have identified your Ethereum wallets and are actively coordinating with U.S. federal law enforcement, FinCEN, and Seychelles Police Force, our partners at the Department of Defense, major exchanges, and cross-chain bridge operators to trace and freeze the assets and initiate legal action. So they go on a little bit more, but it says, in exchange for giving back the funds or what they're asking of 20,000 ETH plus some other stuff, you can keep 2,324 ETH or $6 million as a bounty, and we will consider the matter closed and will not pursue any further legal intelligence or public action. Crazy, crazy to see, but damn, imagine you hack something and they're like, yo, you can keep half of it, we'll be all good. Like that. Welcome to 2025. McDonald's scalpers in Japan are wasting untouched meals to get Ichikawa anime toys, reselling them for $80 a pop. Makes me think. Remember back when Doodles was doing the coffee cups with McDonald's? Or remember when we were out buying VFriend books for the collectability to get an NFT? Listen, if you got an IP or things that people want, we'll go crazy. So again, building the narrative, building the community, go from there. So this is weird, sort of. So So new, 2 attendees of Trump's crypto VIP reception and dinner last night shared that while the food was good, they were disappointed by the lack of meaningful interaction with the president. They had hoped for more access and perhaps even a Q&A session for the top wallet holders, but instead the speech was essentially a reiteration of the US's goal to become the global leader in crypto. He just gave a few remarks and left. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what we're kind of expecting on that front. But, I mean, that sucks that people had higher expectations. But I don't think I even saw, like, any photos or conversations really about it. So, yeah, I guess that's that. The most popular NFT founders, top 20 of around 40 mentioned in their polls. So Luca Net's leading with an absolute wide margin. Pawns there from Plague. I'm just trying to think of, like, ones that I know. I'm kind of surprised that Gary V's, like, down here comparatively to some of the other players in here. Garga, Claynosaurs, Mr. Zagabond over from Azuki, Rita's from Ape Chain, Betty from Deadfellas. Yeah, I feel like I know like maybe 40% of the founders on here, but interesting just to see within this graph. And again, it could be a little bit biased. I mean, Carl probably has a lot of pudgy followers based off the profile picture here, but either way, kind of cool to see what that looks like overall. Abstract news coming from Finn. Also in general, recognizing the impact myself and other team members have on price action of coins and NFTs, we've saw some massive backlash on the Abstract team because they were talking about Bitcoin when that was going crazy, and obviously everybody was screaming that it was a Ponzi, but then you have the team talking about it. We have other situations where there was like meme coins that were created. The team's talking about it, and then the person that owns it is not doing anything, and rugs it, and then goes back to it's just unbelievable stuff that's going on. And again, I don't really know. Obviously, you're trying to like be out there and support different initiatives and people trying to build on the chain, but there's always problems with that. So, going to be adjusting how the team interacts with the team going forward, with them going forward. Community and culture must drive engagement first and foremost, and only be complemented by our team. So there you go. Abstract maybe talking a little bit less. At least their team about stuff that's going on. TokenFi. This used to be an NFT platform. Maybe it was a little bit different on like the handle. I don't think this is the same team. So let me like clarify that. But there was a thing called TokenFi back in the day that was trying to go for like an NFT marketplace. It was super strange the way that they went about it. Certain launches just didn't work. They had collections that they were trying to do like a launch pad thing, and all of it just felt super weird. Nothing came of it. But this new TokenFi is set to make history as the first real-world asset platform to tokenize an AI robot, the Floki Minibot M1. So we'll read the TLDR because it's too long, didn't read. The pre-sale for the Floki Minibot M1 AI robot will go live alongside the launch of the TokenFi RWA tokenization model on May 23rd. The Floki Minibot M1 is being launched by Rice Robotics, an AI leading robotics company with partners and clients that include SoftBank, NVIDIA, 7-Eleven, and other top brands. The Floki Minibot M1 will be tokenized on the TokenFi RWA platform, making this the very first in history that an AI robot will be tokenized. We'll be announcing details of the Rice token generating event and airdrop to Floki and TokenFi holders shortly after the conclusion of the Floki Minibot M1 presale. Yeah, I don't really know. I'm gonna like put myself out there as like the same thing that I say pretty much all the time. This is the very first time in history that an AI robot will be tokenized. I don't know. I feel like people are tokenizing everything. There's things you're just not familiar with. People claiming to be the first of anything. I'm just not sure. Also curious to see like what the excitement or kind of the point of this is overall. And again, I'm not very educated on that, so take that with a grain of salt yourself, but still, we'll keep an eye and see what comes out of TokenFi. Plum saying, just got a tip that there's an active Twitter and X insider selling names, phone numbers, etc. for accounts. Well, we have known this was an issue off and on for ages. I want to let everyone know to be extra careful, protect yourself. Now, one of the biggest tips I've seen from people on X saying to protect the X is like remove your phone number. So that is not a way to impact things. And crazy to think about, right? Is like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And there's probably people out there that are like, I need to work at a phone company so I have access to these things and I'll be able to sell stuff under the table. Because we've known forever, like X has not been a safe platform at all. We've seen major hacks, whatever. You have then communities freaking out saying, oh, your socials aren't locked down, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, we've seen so many people and accounts fall for things. It's like, all right, sure, there's a handful of this could be social engineering, but there's evidently a bigger fundamental problem with it. So be safe, be secure, all that other crazy stuff. But that's it for the news for today. Now, I haven't been on X all day by any means, but it's felt extraordinarily quiet. And at the same time, we went from crypto absolutely ripping to it going down a little bit. So you have euphoria, comes back down to reality, and now you have to guess. Do we go back up? Do we stay a little bit? Does some of it run? What goes on? And that's for you to decide. But that's going to be it for this edition of XFeed. Once again, if you guys are enjoying this content, you're wanting to know a little bit more about the RWA side of things, we do the RWA Segments podcast. You can find the link down in the YouTube description below or on my bio on X, or simply just searching RWA Segment, as in like minty fresh podcast, and you'll be able to find that anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. I hope your weekend is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on Monday. Peace.